Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. That phone has not stopped today.
No, it hasn't, is it?
Every 2 minutes.
Yep.
Everyone could be a potential worthwhile customer. Still can't be bothered to answer it. So mate, it's a cosy day for me.
Yep.
And still a bit of a Land Rover day for you.
Yeah, it has been. So
I've just started to strip this one. This rather corroded, grotty looking thing.
It is, isn't it?
Isn't it? So quite looking forward to seeing what's in amongst this. I don't think it's had any potential sort of known issues.
Right.
But obviously we'll be sending the turbo off. I've started to strip the inlet manifold and the throttle body assembly, etc. So the customer wants, this is going in a restored car, so he wants everything looking factory and as it was.
Nice.
So we take the throttle body assembly apart, obviously blast all the aluminium and send all the little bits like this off for plating.
Yeah, it will look good, that, wouldn't it?
It'll look nice, wouldn't it? Any nuts and bolts that we want to keep that are original or that are on it, I mean there's a lot of bolts that aren't original on this, but we shall send all those off, get them plated and just replace any others.
Yeah.
Things like this, your standard 13 mils.
Yeah, yeah.
We've just replaced them, well 8mm bolts, but yeah, so pretty standard stuff really. This one here, mate, is the Cosworth put the ductile iron liners in.
Oh yeah.
Clean this up, gone for the nice blue colour.
Yeah, it looks nice.
The Pinto blue. I think that's quite nice, that.
Yeah.
So John at the moment is just grinding the crank for the Cosworth. Haven't given him the camera though, have we?
No.
Doesn't look like he's in the mood for it today, really.
No, today he's not been
it's not been a great day.
Not been the
for him.
happiest man, has he?
No, not really. So probably another time for that. Keep people waiting.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things that just never happens, isn't it? We can all live in hope. So what I've done, obviously cleaned this up, thoroughly cleaned it inside, painted it. Core plugs have got to go in it.
Yeah.
All I'm doing at the minute is gapping the rings. Now, we've got these very fancy K1 rods, H-section rods, to go in it. Got to check the clearance on those when John's ground the crank, but obviously can't do anything until he's done that. Now, the standard Marler pistons, we know that we don't really have to gap the rings. They're usually pretty good. But these are Wiseco pistons, and usually we have to gap these rings.
Right.
And normally only either the middle or the top ring. So with a little got a little note in the Wiseco box here that give different applications. On the oil control ring, as most piston assemblies do, the oil control ring gap is more than enough.
Yeah.
So we don't bother with that. So this gives you a top ring and a second ring gap. You've got high performance, dirt, all these different applications. Very American this. But we're going for the street moderate, turbo or nitrous. And that's given us 5 thou on the top ring per inch of bore. It's basically a 3.6 inch. And 5.5 on the second ring. So that works out about 18 to 20 thou. Just going to aim for 20.
Yeah.
So I have checked, I've done these 3 already. Sounds a bit fruity out there.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
You can see I've got a second ring and a top ring in both of these bores. So just checking the clearance. These are 2 that I haven't done. Just by looking, that second ring didn't look too bad.
No, it definitely looks bigger than that one, doesn't it?
So if we stick a 20 thou gauge in there, that goes in and just grips on the back. So that is absolutely fine, mate. I'd say that is about 20 thou.
Yeah, yeah, ideal.
This one here visibly looks a lot smaller, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if I stick a 12 thou in there, 12 thou don't go in, which is not good. That is a 10 thou, that just goes in there. So that's 10 thou gap, mate. Not going to be enough, is it?
No.
That's going to give you a sort of 2 or 3 thou per inch of bore. So we've got to take the top ring out. So our usual thing, in case people haven't seen it before, we'll just go through here. You can get obviously proper ring gapping grinders, which pretty much do the same as this, really. This is our this is our little grinding wheel that we do the tools for the Centronic on, for doing our valve seat cutting.
Yeah.
So we put them in that jig here. Just move backwards and forwards. We can go up, down, in, out, left, right.
Yeah.
And just put the correct angle on.
Mini surface grinder, isn't it?
That's what it is, really, mate. Yeah, with a little diamond wheel on, so it's ideal for doing these. These are a chromium top ring, so you can't go at these with a file,
right?
Because it runs a risk of chipping the chromium. So we just go with the grinder. So all I do is just line it up by eye, go backwards and forwards, mate. And then what I do is just check the gap, putting them together. And I can see there with my eye. That's pretty good, really. Maybe you need to take a little bit more off the back.
Yeah.
So all I do there is just slightly change the angle.
So you want the edges to be parallel to each other.
Yeah, just when they squeeze up, you want a sort of parallel-ish gap, really.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
You can get.
So we check that gap, mate, and it's just one of those things where you just tickle a little bit off. Takes a bit of time, but
yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's what it is, isn't it?
You don't want to rush it. Don't want to go too big. So we've put that ring back in, mate. Doing our usual, leveling it up with the top of a piston, so we know that it's not all wiggly and giving us a false gap reading. So I'm going to try going with a 16. Not quite. $14 just goes in, mate. So it's probably 14, 15 thou. So
a little bit more.
Take another 4 thou out, something like that, and that'd be job done, wouldn't it?
Nice.
And you just obviously you can see in there visibly it's a nice even gap.
Yeah.
You want to just, as I say, you want to watch the gap, make sure that obviously the feeler gauge, if it's like that, then the feeler gauge won't go in at the back, but the front gap's going to be massive, so you need to visibly keep your eye on it as well. Apparently the head has all been done. The customer has watched our videos and he said, you see me in a previous video going on about we've got to check the head out. He said the head should all be perfect, which is good news, isn't it?
Yeah.
All he sent the head in for really was to check the compression ratio for the new pistons. So we'll be working that out compared to the head. We are more than likely, once we do a dummy build, probably going to have to take a little bit off the outer.
Yeah.
But we should work that out, mate. Make sure he's got the right compression. About 8 to 1.
Cool.
Jobs are good, then. So what do you get up to at the weekend?
Not a lot really, mate, other than Zinnia on Saturday morning. Trying to find...
Dare I ask?
I think I found the cause of the ticking noise.
Really? Big job?
I wouldn't say big.
Expensive?
Slightly.
Is it the engine?
No, not what I've done. It's more what I haven't done.
What do you mean?
Didn't replace the coil packs, did I?
The trouble is, where do you draw the line?
Exactly.
Put new plugs in.
Yeah, new plugs.
At £20 a piece.
Yeah, that's where the line was, at the top of the spark plugs.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't blame you, mate. I mean, at the end of the day, coil packs are one of those things, if they play up, they're going to play up. And But I watched a couple of videos the end of last week, and there has been 2 or 3 people that have had plug and coil pack issues with similar sort of symptoms. So,
well, I'm getting a new bits tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I should be doing an in-depth diagnosis and repair video on the second channel.
Nice.
So that should be on there tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on how long it takes me. But yeah.
Get over to Isaac's channel. Let's have a look, see what. Hopefully, fingers crossed, mate. You put that in, and that's your problem solved, isn't it?
And if you haven't seen the Legacy yet, go and look at it on the channel now, because there's a video.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
What, going round it?
Going round it.
Oh, nice.
Giving it a bit of a rev.
Might watch that myself.
Go ahead, mate.
Giving it a bit of a rev.
Give it a rev.
Excellent. Head over. So, that's all good then, mate. How's the old Land Rover? Oh, we had a few comments, didn't we, on the Land Rover?
Yeah, we did.
Last time. Regarding the timing. Now, I might have imagined this, but I'm sure I read the timing and they said get it TDC #1, which is what I said in the last video.
Yeah.
But someone or 2 or 3 people have said in the comments they don't time up on TDC, which should make sense with something like this. They'd have to be a bit awkward, probably do it about 8 degrees out. But you pointed out this morning that going on the last video when I said it probably looks like it's, well, this is on TDC #1 now, which lines up with that hole, which isn't the hole that we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we thought it'd be this like flat-sided hole.
Yeah.
Rather than the round one.
But you've pointed out on the camshafts with the little
marks.
The little marks there that line up with the
links.
links on the cam chain and the front pulley pegged, so we know that the cams are in the right position. Going off the lobes on #1, they would be, if it was on TDC, they would be the same.
Closed and
so they would be evenly the same on each one, you would have thought. But because they look like they're advanced, maybe it does mean that if we bring the crankshaft back, it will line up with...
Yeah. So what I think, I was speaking to Fred Sanders earlier when he was in
What did he say?
And he said that he doesn't bother with that flywheel locking tool.
Right.
But obviously he normally works on them when they're in the vehicle.
Okay.
So he just marks it all up.
Right.
But yeah, I think he said something about it not being bang on TDC. It's a bit after, I think.
Yeah.
Or a bit before. But yeah.
Well, so we're still waiting for the timing kit to turn up.
Once we've got that, we can work it out.
When it does, it'd be quite interesting to put that tool in and see whether it does line up with that, or because I'm thinking now, looking at them cams, you're right, mate.
Yeah.
You probably have to, if you timed it up as it was and then brought the crankshaft back, those lobes would be even.
Yeah.
And it would sort of...
It's a bit of a weird one though, isn't it?
Makes sense, wouldn't it? So we'll see when we get the timing kit. But that's interesting. So you got the sump on today. And the reason you put the sump on is because apparently for this timing tool that goes in here, you have to use this hole, is it?
Yeah, that one,
to. And
yeah.
if it's like a bit of an eccentric tool where it's a bit off, then you're going to need it to line up with that for it to be right.
Exactly.
That's probably why they might have done it. So we'll see. But it's all a learning curve, isn't it? We haven't actually put one of these together before.
No, we haven't.
But we've got another one in 2 weeks, so...
That's all right. Ain't too bad, it's just a bit like... a bit old.
Typical modern motor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once they're all clean and got new bits, it's quite nice to put them back together,
Yeah.
really. It's just the timing always a bit...
Yeah.
But you've got to... That's why I emphasise to... We have people ringing up here, or people that use Tipex to mark time. You're better off reading the auto data correctly, aren't you?
Yeah.
And do it by the book, because
Well, the thing
it's
is,
a recipe
with
for
the,
bloody mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and with this sort of setup here, where you undo all this and it sort of goes all ding, you can't get.
Well,
it right.
you know, if you take a cam belt off and you've marked up like the pulley or whatever with Tipex, and the pulley goes just flings round. It's like, right, you've marked it, but how do you know you bang on?
These modern motors are so finicky with the timing. You've only got to be quarter of a tooth out and it won't run right, or not run at all because of the cam sensors and what have you. But like in the old days, the Cosworths, for instance, you know, most of these heads have had a millimetre chomped off them.
Yeah.
So what we're finding now is on the standard pulleys, these pointers are supposed to go together. Okay.
Right. So they'll be a bit off.
So so you're finding that the head sits so much lower that the inlet is about half a tooth out.
Yeah.
You never get it right.
Well, it's a bit like on the Subarus, because there's 2 block faces and 2 head faces, and you skim all of them. You might have even only taken little cuts.
Yeah, I've noticed that with the Subarus. You get one side that's out.
Yeah.
You
know, if you took 2 thou off of each face, you took quarter of a mil off.
You have, in effect, yeah.
So it's all quarter of a mil closer together, which put you out of tooth.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. So the Cosies, when we use these standard pulleys, it's a compromise really. So what we tend to do is have the inlet sort of upwards rather than down. Tends to run fine. You've got plenty of, because we put the pockets in the pistons and that, you've got plenty of space.
Yeah.
But ideally, you want to put vernier pulleys on there and set it up properly.
Yeah.
Because they're always miles out. Still yet to unwrap the Figaros.
Yeah.
That's going to be a job for tomorrow.
I think so, yeah.
I just wanted to get that block prepped today, and hopefully most of that sort of on its way to being stripped. I'll get the head off tonight, and then at least I know where I am with that, can order some bits.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to crack on with the Figaros, mate. But it's been a busy couple of weeks here, innit?
It has. Today seemed like just, you know, people in and out and phone ringing, and
phone.
It seems mental today.
Well, that brings us onto the website, doesn't it? Because we're in the process now of, well, you are, because I'm going to get you to help me, but we've got a website partially made, but we haven't really bothered with it, and the reason for that is we're just so busy without it. But a lot of people we're finding want to go over to the website to at least get our number, have a look, see what we're doing. So we're going to do that now with obviously our new branding, link the YouTube channel to it, and get some merch, innit? We had a phone call from Australia earlier. Yeah. Someone wanted to buy a hoodie, so maybe it's time to get some nice quality merch going.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so, mate. Turn it into a brand more than a innit? So yeah, plenty of things in the pipeline.
Always stuff to do, isn't there?
Always stuff to do. Well, there we go, guys. Nice in front of me palm tree, innit? Thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has been quite informative, so you're enjoying them lately. But until the next one, have a great day, and tomorrow we'll see you Wednesday. Cheers, guys.